Okay. So earlier we have seen the equation for your power transmission waveguide. Here you will see that what are the different ways by which the power losses will be there in the waveguide. Are power loss due to dielectric failing, power loss due to waveguide walls, and misaligned waveguide section. So, low loss dielectric. Dielectric is your low loss. So, low loss so attenuation constant alpha will be a conductivity by 2 root over of mu by epsilon, square root of mu by epsilon. We are knowing that what is this square root of your mu by epsilon? What is intrinsic impedance. Okay, and you are knowing that what is your intrinsic impedance in free space? Your intrinsic impedance is your 377 ohm. So here attenuation constant can be written as conductivity by 2 into your intrinsic impedance eta. Now, so this is just your attenuation constant. But whenever we are considering the waveguide, in waveguide we are having different modes. We are having a transverse magnetic MN mode and transverse electric MN mode. Let us consider your transverse magnetic MN mode. So when we are considering your transverse magnetic MN mode, we are considering transverse magnetic MN mode, then attenuation in waveguide. So attenuation in waveguide, it is denoted as alpha at the base small g. Okay, alpha at the base small g. So it will be your conductivity by 2 into intrinsic impedance square root of 1 minus lambda naught by lambda c square. So here, whatever this term we are having, can we replace this term with your say alpha attenuation constant, and then your attenuation in waveguide will be the product of your attenuation constant and 1 minus alpha naught by say wavelength, and this is in terms of your frequency, and this we are discussing in case of the transverse magnetic MN mode. We will go for your power losses due to waveguide walls. Okay, so this is clear. You just go through it once. That is A and B component of the physical dimension of the electrical waveguide. You are having a x and a y, x-axis, y-axis. X-axis it is for your electric field, and y-axis it is for your magnetic field, and you are having a z in the direction of propagation. So you are knowing that in case of your waveguide, whenever there is propagation is taking place, you will have this tangential component, that is the electric field. Electric field will have a tangential component, and you are having this magnetic field as your normal component. So this tangential component and the normal component, they results in losses. So though propagation is taking place in the z-axis, but your x-axis and y-axis, they are also causing some losses. Some power loss will be there because of this wall, because of your this waveguide wall. Okay, so this also we have to consider. So this is also one source of loss. So you will have the power loss due to your waveguide walls. Waveguide walls means your tangential component, your electric field, and your normal component, magnetic field. So along with your x-axis and y-axis, there will be some losses. Now, if we want to calculate that what is the power loss that we are having because of this waveguide wall, we are assuming that waveguide is of infinite length. Say if we are considering a waveguide of infinite length, that is okay, but there may be some joints here and there. Some joints will be there. So in your waveguide, if you are having some joints and if the joints are not proper, or you are having the say misaligned waveguide section, then you will have losses because of this transmission. So because of this misalignment, you will see that some power loss will be there. So some power will be rejected from this because of the misaligned waveguide section. Okay, planar transmission line. Suppose if we are going for a planar transmission line means you are having two conducting plates separated by dielectric. Two conducting plates, they are separated by some dielectric. Here what is happening, that here entire transmission line process, it will be fabricated in one step. Okay, like what we are having in your printed circuit board. Okay, so there we are going for photolithographic technique. Okay, so in that, in one step we are fabricating the entire transmission line component. So what are the different components are there that are used, directly we are going for fabricating it in one step. So suppose if we are going for the advantage related to that one, so we will have the advantage that we will have the less cost. So we will line, the different types are your straight line, micro strip, slot line, and then go for this. Only we have to go for your micro strip. The micro strip is used in case of your waveguide. Okay, or your microwave frequency ranges, we are using a micro strip. Let us see what is this micro strip is. Micro strip transmission line. So when we are going for your micro strip transmission line, if you are seeing from the construction itself, it is having two plates. You are having this ground plate. Ground plate means it is your metallic ground, and you are having one conductor strip. Both are unsymmetric. Both are not parallel. Okay. If you are considering their length is something different. So your ground plate and the conductor strip, they are separated by some dielectric. If you are seeing your conductor strip, it is having certain width is there, certain thickness will be there, and you will have the height with respect to your ground plate. So let us assume that small h is the height. Okay, so this is the construction of your microstrip. So there we can introduce some cover plate. So what we will do, we introduce some cover plate. So this will act as for shielding purpose. So this is your cover plate. So we are using a cover plate on the top of your conductor strip, but there should be some distance from that. Okay, it should be in such a distance that it should not affect the field lines. Field lines means your magnetic field and your electric field. So there should not be any disturbance with your field lines with respect to your cover plate. So cover plate we are using it for shielding purpose from external interference. In order to save your microstrip from external interference, we are using the cover plate. So cover plate is actually optional. Okay, there is a distribution of electric field and magnetic field in case of your microstrip. Okay, electric field in case of your microstrip transmission line. So if you are seeing this field, it is starting from your conductor strip and it is ending at your ground plate. Okay, so starting point your conductor strip and ground point is your end. But if you are seeing in your electric field, there is no any crossing between the fields. of your microstrip transmission line. If you are seeing your magnetic field, it is like electrical in nature. It is starting from one end and again it is returning back. So it is making some loop type construction. So the magnetic field it is something like loop type. In case of the electric field, you are having starting point and end point. So that is some line type, and this is something like a loop type. Power transmission is rectangular waveguide. Okay. So when we are going for calculating the power that is transmitted in the waveguide, we are assuming two parameters. First, we are assuming that the waveguide it is of infinite length. We are assuming that waveguide it is of infinite length, and second, we are assuming that there is no any reflected wave. So whenever we are transmitting the power from the transmitting end, there should not be any reflected wave from the receiver side. Okay, so these two. So we are considering that we are having a waveguide which is of infinite length and there is no reflection from the receiver side. Okay, then we are going for calculating that what is the equation for power transmitted in case of your waveguide. Okay, so for that we have to follow the Poynting theorem. Okay, what is this Poynting theorem? We have studied about Poynting theorem in your EMC. Calculate the power. Power it is the product of your electric field and real part of the magnetic field. Okay, you are knowing that in order to know the complete information of any parameter, it consists of your real part and imaginary part. Okay, so when here we are going for calculating the power, we are taking the both real and imaginary part of your electric field and just taking the real part of your magnetic field. The product of that one is your power. Okay, now let us go for calculating the power. Cyclic integral. What is the cyclic integral? And because of that air, there is no any loss of power. Okay, so we are considering lossless dielectric. So in case of your lossless dielectric, your transmitted power will be something like this. You will have these as a transmitted power, or you can have these as a transmitted power. In first case, we are just considering the electric field component. So just if we are knowing the electric field component, we can calculate the transmitted power assuming that you are having a lossless dielectric. Or we can just go for a magnetic field component. If we are knowing just the magnetic field component, then also we can calculate the transmitted power. For electric field means electric field it consists of your electric field component in your x-axis and electric field component in your y-axis. Similarly, your magnetic field it consists of your magnetic field in your x-axis and magnetic field component in your y-axis. Which impedance? Impedance. Just substitute the value of the wave impedance and you can get the equation for that one. So now the rectangular waveguide having the physical dimension A and B, and we are assuming that we are going for your transverse magnetic MN mode. So in case of your transverse magnetic MN mode, your transmitted power will be this one. So we have calculated the transmitted power in case of your transverse magnetic MN mode when we are just knowing one parameter, that is the electric field component parameter. If we are knowing, we can calculate the transmitted power. Now suppose instead of your transverse magnetic, if you are having a transverse electric MN mode, then what will be the equation? Transverse electric MN mode. Just consider your wave impedance. Wave impedance in case of your transverse magnetic this you are having, this equation you are having for a magnetic field. Earlier I have told you that either you can go for this, if you are going for this is for your electric field, and if you are going for this will be for your magnetic field. So just you have to write the equation for for your transverse magnetic ML mode in terms of the magnetic field and transverse electric ML mode in terms of your magnetic field. So whatever the parameter that is given, you can pick that equation and then you can solve it. Transverse electromagnetic mode in waveguide. This is important question. Okay, then why it is not possible to have transverse electromagnetic mode in case of your waveguide. In waveguide we are having transverse electric, we are having transverse magnetic, but we don't have transverse electromagnetic mode. Okay, we have derived this equation. The equation for your electric field in x-axis, equation for electric field in y-axis, similarly equation for your magnetic field in your x-axis, and equation for your magnetic field in y-axis. So these are the equations earlier we have derived. Going for your transverse electromagnetic mode, in case of your transverse electromagnetic mode, we are having a Ez component is equal to 0 and Hz component is equal to 0. Here you are having Ez component, Hz component, Ez component, Hz component, and here Hz. All those values we will see that your Ex component, Ey component, Hx component, and Hy component all becomes 0. Okay, all it is cancelled out. So as we don't have any value in case of your electric field and magnetic field, and in case of your waveguide, we don't have your transverse electromagnetic mode.